If you guys know anything about me, you know that I really like Toyota Priuses. Especially these earlier ones, you can get amazing deals on these, and they're some of the most reliable cars on the road. They make perfect commuter vehicles. Dare I say it, they're iconic. I personally really like the style of the Prius. The hatchback style makes it very useful. Even for car camping, there's a whole slew of Toyota Prius campers out there that take this car cross country and they drive it around because it's so economical. Even this 2006, I'm getting over 60 miles to the gallon. And this is a slight tour of a 2006 Toyota Prius. I hope you enjoy it. You have a top compartment here with two shelves. There's a top shelf. Oh, and this comes out. I never even noticed that. That's kind of cool. Then you have a bottom shelf. You push this and you have a bigger glove box. Pretty nice. I like how it looks. It's still for a 2006, looks very modern. The radio is pretty bad though. I probably would replace it with some other unit. And it's a pretty typical CD player. You adjust the volume here, the tune here. Then you have FM, AM, seek, track, power. It's kind of nice because it's such a stylish sort of like radio. You can push this in so it's a flush mount, so no button really comes out. Stylish and futuristic. Down here you have another compartment and it's see-through. It's just glass that's tinted, see-through, and you can put some things there. On top here you have your hazard button, you have your trip odometer, you have a button to switch from kilometers per hour to miles per hour, and of course you have your clock right over here, and you can adjust it using the H and the M. It was pretty techy to have a screen like this, and you can switch it right here. So normally you're in the energy monitor mode, and you can see how there's a graphic of the wheels, the engine, and the battery, and the electrical motor, and they kind of work together to give you a graphic of how you're driving. The other graphic is a consumption graphic, which I think is a little bit more useful for most people that have this car because you can keep track of your consumption. But I find that this is so antiquated because most people will get bored of this thing pretty fast. I've gotten pretty bored after 2,000 miles. It seems pretty useless to have. The new Priuses do not have this anymore. On this side you have the information button. You also have the display, climate control, and audio control. Center console mirrors the console in the front. This is pretty nice. It's a plastic, but it looks very futuristic, and it still looks good even by today's standards. It is a cup holder, so you can put your cup right there, and then you also have another cup holder here. I find that I use this to store various knickknacks. And of course you also have this. Console is pretty useful. It's got inside of here a place to put some business cards or manuals or whatever. It also has a little tray like this where you can put like your phone, and it is pretty deep. It also has a 12-volt plug and an auxiliary plug like this, so you can charge your phone, put a bunch of stuff here. Very useful to have such large armrest and storage at the same time. I also like to put my hand here. It's very comfortable, but this sort of color gets dirty pretty fast, and if you have a dog, hair sticks to this very much, and it's very difficult to kind of get rid of. The material of the door is made out of plastic, and it almost looks like a 3D printed plastic panel. You also have a speaker right at the door and another one at the bottom of the door. It is surprising that you don't get better quality audio even with all of these speakers in there. It's very light and easy to drive. Here you can control your audio up and down. You also can choose the modes that you use in the radio, up and down. You have if you have a GPS unit, you can push this. I don't on this one. And this is the information panel on the monitor. And of course you have some Bluetooth audio capabilities to integrate with your phone. On this side you have your temperature and AC, and on this you have your rear defroster, front defroster, and circulation. Also, this is an airbag and horn as well. At the bottom here you have your door hatch open, and these two buttons are to set your keys. The wheel also goes up and down, but it does not telescope towards you. By pushing this, you can move it slightly up and down. I like to keep mine all the way up. Here it's typical Toyota stuff. You have your signals, your lights on this side. You also have your lights, your running lights. You have your cruise control on this side, and you have your windshield wipers on the right side. This Prius also comes with a button start, which is great to have. It's something I've never really had on a car. This one has it, makes life so much easier. Having keys kind of sucks after you have a car like this. So this car has power windows, power locks, power mirrors, and on this side you have your handle, and you can actually use it to put coins and stuff. Pretty handy. You also have some storage at the bottom of the door. Storage is always good to have in a car. The rear doors don't have the space underneath for storage, which is kind of a bummer. They do have a speaker. They are power mirrors, and they also have the child protection, or the child door. If you pull this out, you get access to two full-size cup holders right here for your passengers. Kind of a nice feature to have if you use this as a taxi cab, for example. And a lot of people in DC use this as a taxi cab. It's nice to have. You also have, of course, storage in the back of each of the passenger and driver seat. One of the things I really like about this car, of course, is the hatchback style. I have used this as a camper, and I have slept on it. It is a little short, as you can see. You have to be careful about hitting your head. Sophie, you okay? But I can pretty much lay down here and have enough space. You can remove this by pushing it in. This makes a great camper. The Prius is one of those cars that has got so much flexibility. Even with this 2006, I can get 60 miles to the gallon. It's got a whole lot of space in here. This is a car it's very useful. The amount of space that you have inside this car. This one is also equipped with a rear view camera. You can pull it up, pull this one up. The seat is pretty far back. The driver's seat is pretty far back, and I still have knee room, plenty of headroom. This car is very comfortable, and this is probably the reason why this car is used as a taxi cab in the DC Metro. So the seats are very comfortable. You have space in the middle even for another passenger. I believe this comes down like this, so that's just another creature comfort. And of course you have your two cup holders right here for your passengers. You don't really need a key to do anything with this car. You can put it in your pocket and just open it. There's a sensor on the door and it automatically opens. I've never really gotten used to these keyless systems, because I've always just driven regular cars that need keys from the 90s. But it took a while to kind of figure out this whole keyless thing. At first, there's a little slot here where you can put your key. I thought you needed that in order to start the car or anything, but you really don't. So let me push the power button off, hold the brake, or you remove it. As long as you have the key anywhere near you, you push the brake, you push the power, and the car will come on. The car is currently on, of course, running on electric, so it's very quiet. But you have your power button right here. All you have to do is push it by holding the brake, and the car will just light up. Right now the gas engine just started. You can probably hear it a little bit. From then on, this car is very easy to drive. I've always wanted to drive one of these, and a lot of people make fun of the Prius for being like not a cool car, but I do find it to be a very cool car. For 2006, this had a whole lot of technology, and even with the info screen here, it makes it look very modern, even though of course it's 2019, so now it's a little antiquated. Now we realize we don't need all of this graphics here. And Tesla, of course, is having the iPad style center console, which looks much nicer. So this car makes it very pleasing to drive just commuting. I don't think you can beat this car as a commuter for the price. A used Prius probably can cost $4,000. This one has only 130,000 miles. And the battery's fine, the motor is fine. I think you can find a 180,000 mile Prius probably for a little bit less. The downside of this particular Prius is that the clear coat on it on the outside is disappearing. So I need to put a new clear coat on it. But this is a great car for a lot of people who just want to commute. Now the car is kind of tall. So going around turns, you do feel some body roll, but just remember, this car is not really meant for going around turns. It's about, commuting, getting the most out of 1 gallon of gas. And from 2006, you really can't beat it. Like, this makes a great buy for a vehicle. It doesn't have any of the new sensors that new cars have, but when you're coming from a 1995 Toyota Paseo, this feels like a Tesla. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, let's go. Also note that my dog, Sophie, really loves the Prius. It's a very comfortable car for her.